Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's April 5th. Hope you had a wonderful holy holiday week. For those of you celebrating Passover, for those of you celebrating Easter, it was great. It was great. And I think it was special. Hope it was special for you guys as well. So we're just going to let a few more people join in as people load up, usually around the hour. And we are at the hour. This call there's some new faces on the call, so I just want to make mention of that. We do this call weekly in order to give people an opportunity to plug into a certain frequency, a certain way of thinking, if you will, about life, about your business. And that's why this call is called Aligning with Success, because it's really about bringing your mental, emotional state into one that is in harmony with and aligned with success, whatever definition of success you have. The definition of success that I choose for myself and often refer to is one that I got from my mentor, Bob Proctor, and he got it from his mentor who authored it. Not Napoleon Hill, he's the book, right? Not Napoleon Hill, his author. Oh gosh. Roberto, you remember better than me, probably, since you do this coaching a lot. Who? I'm sorry?
Nightingale.
Thank you. Earl Nightingale. My gosh. Yes. Earl Nightingale, who mentored Bob Proctor, came up with this definition of success, which, if you really think about it, is probably the best you've heard. And that is, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So number one, the first word is progressive. So you need to be moving towards something. You need to be progressing. And then the other thing is realization. So you're achieving something. It's unfolding. It's like a flower that's unfolding. It's kind of the perfect metaphor for the season that we're in as the life starts to emerge in the Northern Hemisphere into the spring. So it's this emergence and alignment of, as you're moving towards something, this progression towards something, and then an ideal, a worthy ideal. And Bob defined a worthy ideal as something you would trade your life for. That's the only thing that would be worthy of your life. So what would you trade your life for that would be worthy of your life? And if we define our life, as Nikan has, basically the 5 areas of wellness: body, mind, family, society, finances, then it stands to reason, if that's my life, it's defined by these things, then the progressive realization of trading my time or my life for this would be the movement in what direction? The movement toward a healthier expression of body, mind, family, society, finances. So this beautiful connection to the 5 pillars of wellness is something that I saw so early on, because I recognized that it fit perfectly with the idea of success not being an achievement, but being a movement toward an ongoing, fuller expression of something, an ideal worth trading my life for. And that would be a fuller expression in terms of health of my body, mind, family, society, and finances. So I've never found a better definition anywhere. And believe me, I get opportunities offered to me quite a bit, and they're all throwing success in my face, but I've never seen a better definition of success as one that's in alignment with my destiny, my purpose, the fulfillment of what it is that I see as my whole being. So material success is not all it's cracked up to be. There's a lot of people who have material success, but have huge failures in the other areas of health. They sacrifice, a great deal of their health trying to build up success in the way of material, and then in the compromise of that health, they spend all that money in the back end trying to recover their health. So that doesn't seem very logical. Families, how many families take a toll because the breadwinners are out there winning the bread and compromising the most important things, the times. And when you come out of a Holy Week like we just did, where you think, what is the most important thing about this week? Besides the theological or the connection that you have to that mystery, It's the time you get to spend with the people you love. That's really the highlight. And so, you know, the family pillar is such an important one that's surely compromised when we are pursuing financial well-being in the traditional sense, because in the traditional sense, 96% of the population trade time for money. So they're giving up the time that they have for the other things that they really care for in order to make the money that they have to make in order to support the lifestyle that they're currently living, which for most people is very stressful. They're working hard to keep up with something that's causing them stress. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And that's the majority of the population. And of course, in times like the ones we're living in, that's exacerbated. So what about the other areas of health? Society. You know, what we're seeing is essentially a breakdown of society. And you know, I've always known how vulnerable society is. You know, once disruption in electricity or something. I mean, I remember years ago when we had that Eastern Seaboard, what was it? The power outage. It just hit the whole Eastern Seaboard. And I was up north with my family on a vacation, a family vacation, and there was no power. I mean, there was no power. You couldn't even pump gas into a car because they couldn't get electricity to work the pumps. So everybody was frozen in time. You couldn't go anywhere until this was solved. And I think it took 3 days before they got power back up. So you can imagine, this is the first time I ever experienced anything like that. And fortunately, the place that we were staying at, well, they had gas, propane gas and so forth, so they could cook and manage. And we all we managed. We got by. But you can see, had it gone longer than 3 days, a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, man, that could have been a crisis that most people would still be talking about today. And so you can see how delicate the balance is in life and in society. And so we have to all be a participant in it. And when you don't have balance in your life, when you are compromised in other areas, it's very difficult to consider your contribution to the lives of others. You're trying to take care of yourself, your family. So it's a big responsibility that we have as citizens to create an environment that's sustainable for all of us. And again, so progressing toward that is a big thing. It's a worthy ideal. And the only way to have civilization is to have civility. And the only way to have civility is to have, for all of us, to collaborate and work together toward a common good, a common interest. So you see where Nikan's mission to create a community is so vital. The word community now means more, perhaps, in your lifetime, certainly in my lifetime, than maybe previous. The need for us to get our act together and stop being divided and compromised by the power structure that is willfully, purposefully, and throwing a lot of time and money at dividing us in every way possible. You know, I know a lot of really good people, and I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your creed is. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your nationality is. None of those things make any sense to me or mean anything. They're just labels we place on each other. What I care is that you're a human being and you care about other human beings. If you've got that rooted in you, we're on the same team. So where's all the division coming from? Power, the need to divide and conquer. So when you talk about building a community, what we're talking about is doing God's work, because the antithesis of God's work is what's going on right now. The division, the power, the monopolization, the manipulation, and so forth, the corruption on all levels. So what we have in terms of a definition for success, especially when we're working in alignment with Nikan, is so profound, because it's hitting all the bases. What did I miss? Mind. Okay, well, we're talking about that right now. Attitude, outlook, perception. When we start to see things from a higher perspective, when we can step away from our issues up close and gather up other people's perspective, we're able to see things more clearly and our place in it. And we do a lot of work on mind here in this call. In fact, we do most of the work on mind in this call, aligning with our thoughts and our feelings and our actions so that we're creating the reality that we want to create. And then lastly, of course, is the idea of, well, body we have, the products to leverage, and then finances. By the way, here's something for you. How many of you are involved actively in some type of a fitness? Raise your hand if you're doing some kind of fitness every day. Good for you. I have been so negligent on that. I've been a delinquent when it comes to that. I could just never, ever get into it. I don't know what it was about me. I was always fairly fit, but man, you know, age does creep up on you. But I'll tell you, I have been using my universal gym downstairs now consistently for 3 weeks, and that ain't going to stop because I kind of like the way it feels after the fact. So some words of encouragement there. Try it, do something, start. And you know what? Once you start, it just feels wrong if you miss out. So if I miss a day, I'm like, I'm gonna have to make up for that. So yeah, there's some, you know, even if it's a walk, take a brisk walk. That's the best exercise you can get anyway. 30-minute brisk walk. You know, from Japan came this notion of 10,000 steps a day keeps the doctor away. That's why our magnetic insoles are so important. Those little massage nodules, they do a lot of work, even when you're not thinking about it. So we got technology that can help us and keep us aligned and on purpose. And then there's the finances. And the finances comes when everything else seems to get in alignment. Seems to be in that way with Nikken. Seems to be the company where it really is about establishing balance. Most people come into Nikken with already an income stream. But the goal in Nikken where finances is concerned is not just to make money. It's the way in which we make money, the way in which we earn money. It's an alignment with principles that fulfill our soul, principles that are aligned with our integrity and our morality and our sense of humanity. You know, in Nikken, you don't make any money manipulating people. You don't make any money taking advantage of anybody. Every dollar you earn is because somebody's using the products, and that means somebody's benefiting in a way that's important. So you can feel good about the way you're earning money. And therefore, you can feel good about sharing the idea with others. And that can create more than just trading time for money. That can create the ultimate experience in Nikken, where you start to achieve a balance of time and money, which is the ultimate in terms of how we earn an income. Anyway, so this is a bit of a recap on our definition of success. And I'm bringing it up now because, again, we're starting a new season. We're going into spring where everything starts to pop to life in the Northern Hemisphere, which most of us are in. And not only that, but it's from my context, it's the resurrection. It's like the birth of a new idea, the birth of a new soul, a new spirit within you. And we want to definitely do that. We want to give birth to something new. But we also benefit from looking back. So I also want to take stock of the last 3 months, because in our first quarter of this year, some of us on this call hit Club Kiai, and I think that's important, and they ought to be recognized. So we're going to talk about them and hear from them shortly. But so the idea of aligning with success is being productive in Nikken in the way that we are productive, learning what that looks like, what that feels like, what that means, because that brings fulfillment of purpose. And that's the ultimate achievement of success. When you are in alignment with your purpose and you're moving toward a higher expression of that, you are the ultimate. And people will notice. People notice people who have a sense of purpose. You will stand out in a crowd. You will be very attractive in a crowd, especially when people are, you know, finding themselves in difficult times, and they see you seem to be steady as a rock, and you seem to have a skip in your step, and you have intensity in your eyes. And when you speak with energy. People notice this. So getting an alignment and seeing Nikken as really a way, perhaps maybe more a way of life, and then learning the things that successful people do to be successful in Nikken, the ones that are moving, progressing. And a great demonstration of progression in Nikken is Club Kiai. For those of you who don't know what Club Kiai is, one of the incentives in our beautiful incentive program, if you haven't got a copy of this, reach out to me, reach out to your upline. We have this available digitally. We have this available through lifeandbalancetools.com. So for those of you who don't know where I get all of these things from, it's from lifeandbalancetools.com, including our beautiful calendar for this year. So
We'll stay in the side because I look like crap.
okay.
I don't have the camera.
Let me just put that on mute. All right. So what is Club Kiai? Club Kiai is the second incentive in our program. The first one's designed for the newest person who just got started and it's their first 30 days. Most of you have been in Nikken more than 30 days. So what's the next one? The next one is Club Kiai. What you do in the next 3 months or over a window of 3 months, which means the last 3 months. Or if you're going into April, they're going to count April and then the month before March and then the month before February. Those 3 months, what you achieve in 3 months to generate at least 12,000 points in group volume. That's personal sales and the sales of members of your team who are not yet at the rank of silver. So the combined volume that you generate in that 3 month block has to be at least 12,000 points. There's a few other things. At least half of that volume has to come from sale of products at the retail price, which means usually to end consumers. And what else? I think there's a need for, I think that's it, right? If I missed anything, let me know. You've got to have at least 100 points in personal volume.
Yeah,
Minimum of 2,000.
A minimum of 2,000 points. I'm not sure where that echo is coming from, but 3,000 points, Barb?
2,000.
2,000. Okay, so at least in each of those 3 months, there has to be at least 2,000 points. So you can do most of it in 1 month, provided you've done at least 2,000 in the 2 months leading up to it. So what's so good about it? So what? So you've done some volume. What's so good about it? Well, first of all, let's relate the idea to alignment. You know, progression towards something, right? If people are not getting the benefit of these products, if you're not adding people to your team, then you're not progressing in the path that Nikken has laid out for you as one of the many possibilities and maximizing your possibilities with Nikken. So learning how to do those things. What else is great about Club Kiai? Well, it's a path for those of us who have a target of Team Kaizen, which is the higher achievement. It's for the year where you win a trip and a bunch of other things, recognition and whatnot. It's a path toward the achievement because it's a cumulative volume over the course of a year. And it's pretty hard to jam that much volume into a month or two. You got to stretch it out over the year. I mean, you got to make it work by doing, it's like doing the laundry. If you just let it pile up, pretty soon you're like so overwhelmed by laundry, you probably break your machine trying to do it all in one day. But if you just, pace it out, you'll get it done and you'll live your life and nothing will be, out of balance. Well, doing the volume in Nikken like that, using Club Kiai as a mechanism, as an incentive, is a great way to build for a long and lasting business experience as well and generate some beautiful incentives. The other thing Club Kiai is 500 points of Nikken reward dollars. So, if you'd have taken advantage, which I did, by the way, for 503 points, I was able to send 2 waterfalls and 2 necklaces to 2 people, brothers, in Chicago for like $78. I paid like some portion of the shipping or something. It was some portion of whatever, with tax or something like that. But the rest of it was covered by the 500 points of a Club Kiai that I won the previous Club Kiai. So that's, and taking advantage of the incentive that we just finished with the waterfall, first one at full price, second one at half price. So, wow, these are the things that are available to us that we can take advantage of if you're thinking about it, if you're maximizing your opportunity, and you can. And you will learn about things like that by being on these calls. It's where I learn. I learn from the leaders who are, taking advantage of the incentives. And you may not think, it's not that big a deal, but it is. It is a big deal. It's just like me doing weights the last 3 weeks. Once I started, and not just started, but did it consistently day after day, all of a sudden, now it means something. I immediately started to notice a change in my body. I started to notice a change in my strength and my upper body strength, which is what was really bothering me. That's what was really compelling me to do something. And now I feel the need to do it as a regimen. I decided I was going to do top down. So I'm not finished with just the upper body. I'm going to work it all. So, but the thing is, the key is to get started and to do something with some continuity is the fulfillment of this beautiful thing called alignment of purpose. So get started on doing the things that work for you in the business. Let's hear from some of the people who achieved Club Kiai. So those of you who achieved Club Kiai, just raise your hand. Actually, better yet, why don't you unmute? That way you can just chime in. So if you are Club Kiai this last quarter, yeah, I see you. So I want you guys to actually, you know what you could do? Raise your hand. That way you hit on my screen so I can see you in the right positions. Perfect. So if you're Club Kiai the last 3 months, just raise your hand and then it'll come up on the screen. Well, I guess there it is. Okay, it's working. Excellent. All right. Okay, well, I see you up there. So please be my guest. Anyone who want to chime in. So let me give you some context. So Club Kiai, why did you set a goal? First of all, was it a goal or was it just, oh, hey, I got Club Kiai? Was it an accident or was it purposeful? 2, what do you see as a benefit for yourself personally and for your business? Let's start with that. Anyone? Ruth?
Okay, so yes, it absolutely was a goal. It always is a goal every single quarter for us. We plan it accordingly. We look at our numbers every single week, and that accumulates to every single month, and then each month for the quarter. Yeah, I mean, we love having the 500 Nikan reward points because we use them as incentives to encourage some of our customers. So if they plan on doing a $500 order, we incentivize them if they do a $1,000 order. We'll share our points with them, is how we've been doing it.
Good strategy. Anyone else? Next. The way it
I'll go
comes up on my screen is
I-
Madeline. Go ahead, Madeline.
Okay, I'll go next. Well, after Italy, I think I mentioned this on the last call, it just worked progressively. And then what's happened at the end of last year and this year is the people that have been sponsored, some aren't ready to launch then. So as they are, there are more people that are sponsored that are now launching. So it becomes easier to hit the volume points. In fact, I haven't even checked the list. I'm assuming I had over 15,000 PGV. So I haven't even checked to see if half of it was the retail. I didn't even look to see on the list if it was posted or not. I'm just assuming that it is over the 3 months. But for me, it's being the role model so that others will want to do that. So yes, I use it for incentives, but it's also building the depth in teams and having that balance of both. So desiring the success for others and to be able, how else do we get to the point of 10 million wellness home starts, new people enjoying the products unless there is the duplication. So the overriding goal was not just for me to win the trip. You know, I've said to others, I'd like to be able to bring others with me. So the best way is to demonstrate to others how to do it.
Lead by example. Yeah.
Example.
Great,
Yes.
great. I see Nancy up next.
Okay, I'll go, Mike.
Oh, okay. Go
Oh.
ahead, Pam. You go ahead. Pam, you're down on the lower part of my screen. So go ahead, jump in.
Okay, well, actually, it certainly was purposeful. Okay. Ron, being the businessman he is, he knew that this was how to advance. And I'd always had a goal anyway as to how many people. The 6 seemed easy to me. It was a little more challenging the first year, which surprised me than it was the second year. And now we've already have 4 of our 6 now. But you know, it is an intention, and he follows the numbers. He checks them every day. We have a huge whiteboard in the office that he puts all the numbers up there and tells me where we stand and what's ahead. So the benefit is for business. I mean, we love this. I mean, we love helping people. That's what got me in as a hygienist. So yes, it is a personal satisfaction that I get, but you know, I've always wanted a business. I mean, I was raised by 2 entrepreneurs that said, you know, you have to have a business where you're not there. And dental hygiene depends on me being tied to that chair. And so that did it. So with the 500 points, when you do that for the whole year, that's $2,000, guys. I mean, that's a lot of money. So we give filters or stones for anybody that refers somebody that buys a waterfall. So we do some of that of our 500 each quarter to buy filters and stones and make sure we have enough to get to people. The other thing is you gifted your brother, we gifted our 3 children with a King Dreamlight comforter for Christmas.
Nice.
And paid nothing.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
They're all getting older. They're 30s and 40s. They need it, and we were pleased to do that. But more importantly, we do want to share it as well with our downline. And we use it for incentives.
Fantastic. Good, good, good. Thank you. Nancy, Clyde, you need to unmute.
I won it the first quarter of last year, and I won it just this past quarter. And it really was a goal. It wasn't overwhelming to me. I just knew, okay, this has got to happen. It really is that in alignment that you're talking about, Mike. I was going to a lot of leads meetings and doing a lot of stuff, and I realized that it just wasn't right. So I pulled out of it way back more than a year ago, and my business has taken off. I mean, not like a rocket, but it is slow and steady, and I'm winning Club Kiai. The benefit I had is that it really, when you have any goal, but that goal, and it's 3 months, not too overwhelming, and you go, okay, another 3 months, it really opens my mind to creativity and my KVB, but to how I can reach out to people, who I'm going to reach out to, but also, like I think Madeline was saying, it really is showing my team, it is doable. It's doable. It is just a daily thing. And then mentoring from Ruth Lowe, it really is touching your business every single day. And I'm just amazed. I'm amazed that I won Club Kiai again. It is my goal for the next quarter and on.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you, Nancy. Barb Satterwhite.
Well, I did it all 4 quarters last year, and of course got it this quarter. And it's been a goal, but the point is that if you want Team Kaizen or Team Tai Chi, it's a great stepping stone. So you start with that. What do I need? 50,000, 80,000. So divide that by monthly and what you need per month. Well, go for the Club Kiai, which is going to give you a minimum of 4,000 every month, and you get the 500 points. So, but I have to say, once I decide I'm going to do that, I don't think about it. It just happens. I really don't. I mean, obviously, I look at my numbers, but I don't stress over all that. I just put it out there, know I'm going to do it, and things happen. But as far as the points, I save mine up. I still, like this month, I have to use some of last year's so I don't lose it, but I will use it for, like several people have mentioned, either gifts or incentivizing. Right now, I don't have anybody right now that needs to be incentivized, but that will happen. So it's there. And the other point is it's setting an example. And because I've been doing it, and the Thorntons did it most last year, and they did it this quarter as well. So it is setting us, and it's a roadmap, but it gets you to what you need to have happen in the overall year. So that's why I like it.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you. Sue Gruber.
Hi there. We have been Club Kiai all of 2019, all of 2020, and then this first quarter also. For us, it's been a business roadmap. I think the incentive program is perfect for building your business. We do, want to be the Club Kiai. We had points for Team Tai Chi, but we didn't have the new people last year. So this year we already have our 6 new people. And of course, we want more new people too. So Thu Hai is one of our new consultants this year. But for us, it's our business road plan. Like Barb said, the points happen. I really don't, I mean, I keep track of what's going on, but I don't stress over the points because they happen. We retail a lot, so that just kind of happens too. But it's how we do our business. It's really important to us to be successful. So it is the perfect roadmap for doing the business. We love the reward points that we get. For us, we give it away as gifts, you know, wedding gifts and that kind of stuff, Christmas gifts. We also use it for getting new products. When Nikan comes out with new products, it's a way of getting your new products without having to take it out of your pocket. You know, we can buy it with our reward points. So we buy things to have as giveaways. We do use it as incentives. So those reward bucks are just a wonderful way of using them for business, for family, for our demos. So it's just a great win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Like
Fantastic.
you mentioned sending to waterfalls. We used to loan out the sleep system, so it's nice to send a brand new one. They have a chance to use it, don't want to give it back, so they get to put the order in, have their volume, and you have another one to loan out to somebody else. So it really works like a loaner that you don't have to take back as well.
Cool.
Another full-time equivalent like working for you.
Bob, I see you're on the line, unmuted. Did you want to add to that? Bob Gruber? Oh, no, he's just, there you go. Yeah, now you're
There.
unmuted.
Well, I think Sue kind of hit it on the head. I mean, it is kind of automatic, but we do look forward to the points. But the main goal was we didn't make Club Kaizen last year, which was kind of disappointing. So we set the goal this year to a little bit different and kind of took some advice from Ben. Ben said, get your people up early. So like Sue says, we already have our 6 and working on a couple more. So we hope to be there.
Wonderful. Listen, what I'm hearing consistently here, first of all, is that every one of you chose to do Club Kiai. It was a choice. It was a goal, an objective. And, you know, if you've been on any success call, coaching call of any kind, if you've read any success book of any kind, if you know about the Harvard study, and they all say the same thing, write your goals down. Write your goals down. Even if you don't believe it, just write them down. There's something about that makes a difference in the way you manufacture your reality, in the way you create your reality. I refer to that as the law of attraction. Actually, more in truth is the law of vibration. If you haven't heard my talk on that, Lane Brewster's, she's got a channel that you can check out, Lane Brewster. Go to her channel on YouTube and see the call that I did with her called, I think I called it the law of everything. But yeah, I'm sincere when I tell you that all my experience in life has taught me that this is a truth, a truism. And so when you set it in motion and set the intention out there and you write it down, most of you are saying you don't even think about it after that. It falls into place. Well, I can assure you, you do think about it on some level because you set the goal. So you're looking at the numbers that you probably wouldn't be looking at. You're seeing opportunities that you probably wouldn't identify with if you didn't have the intention already in your mind. So you're able to see things that are there that you would not have seen, you would not have observed had it not been a goal. So I think it's really, really important that we recognize first and foremost is to design your life by setting intentions, and that you do with creating a goal. And what my mentor used to tell me all the time is it's not about whether you achieve the goal or not. It's the person that you must become in order to achieve the goal. That's why you set a goal. And so the behavior that ensues when we set a goal for Club Kiai is we start to see the world a little differently. We start to observe things in our life and people in our life, and we start to make connections. We start to see relationships and things that we can do and offers we can make. Like, for instance, right now, by the way, I'll give another example of that. I thought of, you know what? We have this waterfall as a special, and it's such an important item in our program this year because we have the added incentive of the performance bonus for that waterfall. We should get some testimonials. And then I put that contest out to gather up some testimonials of the waterfall. Minutes, have to have the camera horizontal, la, 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 la. And then we did this contest. But what happened there was a lot of people who started getting creative and started thinking about how to present. And what came out of that was not only some great testimonies, and video clips that you can share. They're all on we've shared them all on the WhatsApp. But what also came out of that was a reflection on how to tell a story. It created an opportunity for us to review what does a good story look like or sound like. And so it was a learning opportunity, but I would not have thought of that. It wasn't something I would have naturally thought of, except for the fact that I started thinking about this incentive and how to really maximize this incentive. And I thought, what we need some testimonies, but I can only do one. But I bet you if I get some people out in the field and the Nikan family to put some out, we'll get some really good testimonies. Let's make it fun. Let's put an incentive. Well, guess what, guys? Right now we have another incentive. We have an incentive with the new Kenko. Well, the Kenko ground is relatively new to the Nikan family of products. So what we need is more talk, more discussion, more understanding of the beauty of this Kenko ground. I don't know how many of you sleep with a Kenko ground. Okay, a lot of you Club Kiai winners, I see. You think there's a correlation between Club Kiai and the Kenko ground? I don't know, but there's definitely a correlation between the Kenko ground and a good night's sleep. That's for sure. So, and that was the first thing all my family noticed. So for me, when we launched the Kenko ground, which was October, when we did our event here in Toronto, Christmas was like a month and a half away or whatever. So guess what everybody got for Christmas was the Kenko ground. And I just did it because I wanted to know. I trust the Nikan products. I trust the Nikan technology always adds to our experience in life. But I was curious about what everybody's experience would be because I knew what mine was, but I didn't tell anybody. And everybody said the same thing. It's like when they wake up, they are up. It's like, boom. And that's exactly what it is for me. All of a sudden, I started waking up. And once my eyes are open, that's it. I can't even force myself back to sleep. So the Kenko ground is really cool. Anyways, we have a special right now for the Kenko ground. And if you don't know what it is, does anybody have that information? But they can just chime out. What is the special on the Kenko ground? It's something
You
similar.
sell 3, you get $90 extra bonus. If you sell 5, it's about 100. Well, I'm sorry, that's US dollars, not Canadian. I don't have the Canadian number.
Okay,
If you sell 5, it's about 145.
okay,
approximately.
so it's a performance bonus similar to the waterfall. So
Correct.
sell 3, sell 5. Is there anything in between the 3 and the 5? I can't remember. It was just 3 or 5.
No,
Okay.
3 or 5.
All right. And okay, so it's an opportunity for us to focus this month's attention on a product that is so good and inexpensive. It's very affordable. And now they've got this added kicker. Well, guess what? I want to do this testimonial thing again. So I put it out there. Send the testimonials on the WhatsApp chat. It has to be a short. It's got to be 60 seconds or less. Hold your camera sideways. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be just you holding your camera and talking to yourself or getting somebody to hold it for you or you interviewing somebody. Make it simple. Make it you. Make it real. Don't sell me the Kenko ground. When you're thinking of doing this, don't sell the Kenko ground. Tell your story. Let people be a witness to what you've experienced. And tell your story. What I like to say, start with why I love my Kenko ground. That's how you enroll people into why they might like it for themselves. So, and then it doesn't sound salesy when you're telling your story. So stories ought to be about what you experienced, what are your benefits not what they might experience, but what you personally experienced. And when we have enough of those, let's say we have, I don't know, 34 people on the call. Imagine we had 34 testimonial, 1 minute or less videos of why everybody here on this call loves their Kenko ground. Do you think you might be able to influence a few people to want a Kenko ground? Yeah. So let's do it. And by the way, so my incentive is $250 Canadian goes to the top winner. I think it's 150 and 100. I think that's the way it goes. Number 1, 2, and 3. And what I want to do a little bit different, if I can do this, I think I can, is we'll narrow it down to the 5 or 6 of the top videos, and then we'll put it out for you guys to vote on. We'll do a little vote thing using our vote tool, and that could be fun. So we can see how you guys, what you choose. Anyway, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. This is how we can collaborate. This is how we build community and how we leverage each other's talents and each other's gifts and opportunities to make it better for everybody. So let's definitely do that. Before I switch, and we're almost done here because it'll be a little bit shorter tonight. Is there any other mention for the Club Kiai winners? Something that came up as you were listening to somebody else talk that you wanted to add to your Club Kiai experience or insights?
I would like to add something, Mike.
Sure.
I think that when you set that goal to be a Club Kiai winner, it actually is a business plan. And once you have the confidence level that you can get to it, it builds upon itself, right? So I have a team member that won it last year, and just by winning it, she has been amazing at her business because it gave her the confidence, right? So if you shoot for something like the 4,000 a month, then you have something to shoot for. If you just do willy-nilly, it's never going to happen. So I just want to make sure that, every one of us on this call can go for Club Kiai. It's a rolling 3 months. So now you have February, March, and April, or you just start with April if you want to. It doesn't matter, but start with something, right? So give yourself a goal to get towards that. And I think 4,000 is very reasonable. So what happens if you get 2,000? It's still, you're on the right path. And so I just wanted to say that you got to set yourself the goal to go after it. And then you'll be amazed at what happens once you set that goal. That's what I wanted to share.
Awesome. Yes, Nancy.
I'm not muted. Okay, of something that Sue and Bob said about getting their 6 people for Tai Chi. I had set the goal that I would be Club Kiai, finish it early. And darned if I did. It was the 22nd of the month.
Wow, good for
And
you.
it was fabulous. And I thought, if you don't set the goal, it's not gonna happen. And I remember, I don't know, one of our past presidents, can't even remember his name. Anyway, he said, really, Silvers, you should be shooting at 2,000. Well, I was just sort of, and he said that, and I went up to him. Of course, right after that, he was gone. But I went up to him and I said, if you had not said that, I would still be yin-yanging around and not doing anything. But I thought, you said 2,000. And so when I saw Club Kiai come along, I thought, there it is again. I can do this. I know I can do it. All I have to do is just say, okay, here we go. And really this year, 2021, is my first year that I truly have believed that I can win Team Kaizen. I never have believed it before. I didn't believe it last year either. Have no idea how that's going to happen, but it's amazing what happens.
The magic of belief, the magic of belief, Michael.
The old adage, how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah, one
bite at a time, right?
Time.
You see the number 80,000 for Tai Chi or 50,000 for Team Kaizen, and you're like, oh my God, how am I ever going to do that? It's like, I was even looking at that thinking the same thing. Like, how am I going to do that? And then, then it was just like, okay, we need to really chunk this down. Let me see if I can hit at least a Club Kiai. And then I did. It was like, oh, I just need to do 3 more of those. So it's really doable if you just break it down into bite size.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Club Kiai is about, is breaking it down into bite size, that we can all do it. And then once you realize you can do that, now you realize, wait a second, and this is true about anything in the business. You hit executives like, I think I could probably do silver. And then you do silver and you think, well, if I can do silver, other people can do silver. And if I can help other people do silver, I can do gold. You see what I'm saying? It's just, how does that start to compound? Sue, you were going to jump in.
Yeah, it's sort of what Nancy was saying. You know, newer folks that are coming in and are thinking about their executive run or their silver run. When you're thinking about the Club Kiai, I mean, you make Club Kiai, you're going to be silver, or you know, you'll blow through executive and go to silver and beyond. So even though the volume point is more for Club Kiai than what you need, it is a roadmap to moving through the compensation plan and advancing your rank. So you can look at it that way too.
For sure, for sure. This program, this thinking and incentive program is you do the incentive, you advance in rank. So for instance, Power Start, you hit executive. Go for Club Kiai, you hit silver. You could even hit gold with Club Kiai, right? Because it's 12,000 points. So yeah, it's just follow the program. I think Deemer, you have your question, your hand up.
Yes, I do. As a newbie to Nikken and understanding some of the incentive programs that Nikken offers, what consists of a team? How many people do you need to have on this team in order to get to be able to create the Club Kiai arena, if you will?
Okay, great question. So the good news, as many as you want. There's no limit. I mean, that's just one of the wonderful things about it. Now, clearly, when you're thinking of it strategically, our business is really based on having 3 or more legs. We call a leg as when we sponsor somebody. But to have 3 or more really solid legs, you know, it's going to take more than 3 people, because people come and go, people have different sets of priorities. But if you're looking for 3 strong legs, the general rule I teach is the rule of thirds. We've all experienced this in Nikken, that a third of the people will go slow or won't go at all. A third of them will go slow to medium, and then a third of them will go fast. So if I'm looking for 3 people to run with me, I'm really looking for 9 people to say they're going to run with me. And it's just keeping that in the back of your mind when it comes to sponsoring. But then, of course, once you sponsor somebody, you don't leave them alone. You don't say, oh, now it's your turn, go out and do it. They don't know what they're doing. So this is the first member of your team. And I always think of people as partners. I don't think of them as just a member of my team. I think of them as a partner. And what do partners do? They work together, they collaborate, they cooperate, they collaborate their schedules, things like that. So when you sponsor somebody, take it upon yourself to help them. The general rule I tell you, cannot guarantee anybody's success, but what you can do is guarantee you're going to give them the best start you know how to give them. And you know what? Every time you start somebody and you figure out what you would have done different, you know next time how to start that next person better.
Right.
So you become a better sponsor with every time you're sponsoring somebody. So that's what my rule of thumb is, I'm going to give you the best start I know how. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do, but I'm going to give you the best start I know how to give you.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, Sue.
We can't forget about the importance of the retail customer.
Of course.
For Club Kiai, 50% of our, and the Power Start, 50% of your volume needs to be retail volume. So I like to think about the Nikken, the business unit. So it's a few years old, but it was having 3 team members or 3 consultant people who wanted to do the business, and 5 customers made up one business unit. So like you were talking about having 9 people, Mike, you would need 3 business units to have a nice solid business foundation to just grow and grow and grow. So it's the 3 consultants and the 5 customers, and then you pretty much have whatever incentive or business opportunity you want to achieve. You know, you've got your customers and your team members and you can just keep growing and growing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and
You know,
like in your model, that card that you have, it's a 500 commissionable dollars. I think that is also important to know. On that duplication model, you still have that.
okay, so yeah, this is what you're referring to. If you're
Yeah.
looking for a model for building your business, again, this is one of the cards that you can get from Life and Balance Tools, but we can get you a version of this. Let me quickly just switch gears here in the last minutes that we have. I had an opportunity to introduce my daughter, who's joining me in Niken shortly, to a powerhouse Royal Diamond from Latin America, from Mexico, Alejandra Castillo. She started her Niken business when she was 32. And she started very modestly. Her objective was to meet, she had a goal from the very beginning to meet two new people, to sponsor 2 new people per month. So imagine by the end of the year, you'd have sponsored 24 people. That was her objective. And to do that, she figured, okay, I'm going to have to make 2 appointments per week. So it was something that was manageable. This is she was a mother of 3, and now she's a mother of 4. And she figured, okay, for that to happen, I need to do 5 to 10 invites per week. So she had her business strategy day one to build her Niken business. And she gave us some notes here. So create a structure being a calendar of events. And so a calendar of events, you know, we've got the Niken Connect calendar now. We've published the newest version, which is Lean and Mean. We have the Niken schedule of events, which has also been published, the Niken 2021 calendar. Those are the dates that ought to go in your calendar. Those are the things that what's in that calendar ought to be in your calendar as things that I need to make sure I'm part of. If I'm a business owner, where do I show up for business? It's at the events. That's your big, you know, your big ticket items. And then you want to obviously invite people to those once you have them in your calendar. She also said she started a recognition program. Recognition was really, really, really important. And it is. To that organization, I've never seen such incredible recognition. She said from the smallest things, like when somebody does their first sale, she would give them recognition, to their first enrollment, to their first rank advancement, to then the Niken incentives program. So she took it upon herself to do a recognition program. And I'll tell you something, boy, those guys recognize people. Like every time if you ever connect to them on Facebook, you'll see the recognition that they do. It's unbelievable. It's so good. Okay, she said, create a sense of family. Here's another one. I love this tip that she gave. My daughter asked, you know, what are the things that people say, the excuses that they make why they can't do Niken as a business? And she said, don't have time. Like that's like the number one resistance. And so my daughter says, so well, what do you say? She says to them, try it. You'll find the time for what you like. Just try it. See if you like it. That's a pretty simple answer, but you know what? How can you argue with that? People will find the time for the things they like. Why don't you try it? See if you like it. Let's see what else I thought, which was really cool. Her 3 bullets at the end, we just said, okay, if you had to sum up, what was the 3 things that you would get my daughter here to do? She said, number 1, realize you have to invest time. It is a business and you're going to have to invest time in your business. Number 2, build a team. So it's not just about being alone, it's about building a team. And so when you're looking for partners to build a team, talk like that. Talk to people like that. And then number 3, the third thing, have a monthly goal. And what you've heard on, most of this call was the importance of setting that goal for Club Kiai. The goal seems to precede all of the things that follow, that you'll attract. And she would say, sales goal, a volume, an income goal, and the growth of the group. Your goals can be whatever you want, but she singled those things out: a sales goal, an income goal, and the growth of the team, the growth of the group. So just really simple stuff, but I'm telling you, this girl is like 2nd or 3rd income earner in Latin America, young, 4 kids, lives a beautiful lifestyle thanks to Niken. And she just from day one was just very, okay, if I'm going to do this, let me give myself some instructions, set some achievement goals that I can manage, the little bites that I can do every day, that I can do every week, that I can do every month. And that's propelled her into an absolutely unbelievable business. She's in Niken 10 years. So, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you could have a very different lifestyle. But what's it going to take? It's going to take that consistency. If you guys were on my call 2 weeks ago with my friend Richard Brooke, he wrote this book, The 4-Year Career. If you haven't read it, please read it. There's another version that his wife wrote, Kimmy Brooke, The 4-Year Career for Women. You can get this from blissbusiness.com, BLISS business.com. I love this book. I love giving this book to people and saying, just have a read. If you're looking for something different in life, have a read. You'll understand why. And this just teaches the simple concept of what you do duplicates, and do something that you can do with some consistency so that you can duplicate it and create that compounding effect, which is essentially what setting a goal does. Setting a goal causes you to start doing something. And that something is going to happen on a daily basis because it's in the back of your mind. The goal is in the back of your mind. I know that's what's different about me since I set a goal for Club Kiai. I never set that goal. I'm a person who has a business that fortunately, thankfully, has grown to a point where I don't have to lead the field. I choose to lead the field. And what does that look like? It means striving for these incentives, just like what I'm asking you guys to do. It's lead from example. So when I started doing that, setting those little bite-sized goals, I started seeing situations differently, opportunities differently. And that's all I'm suggesting you take advantage of this incredible insights from our Club Kiai winners of this last quarter. Thank you guys for such a very interesting call. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. You took some notes. Ruth, you got something?
I do, just real quick. When Sue Gruber talked about the retail portion, so for our promotion this month for our grounding mats, you need to read the fine print because they have the 3 or the 5, they have to different customers with different credit cards and different addresses. So you need to read the fine print. So I just want to be real clear about that. So if one person ordered 2, that would only count as 1. If one customer ordered 2, so you need to have three different customers or 5 different customers to participate in these promotions. I just wanted to clarify that.
Cool. You can go out and ask people, would you like to be one of my 5? I'm only allowed 5.
Yes.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for joining. Next week, we'll have this call again Monday. Tomorrow at noon, Ben's noon Eastern. Ben does his mentoring call. I'm sure you're going to want to be on that. I think he's going to be touching on the new schedule. And we are waiting with bated breath. I'm just getting messages here. They're still hoping tonight. They're working on this thing that computers have to do to get all the computers in the world of Niken connected. There's this thing called the handshake, and that's what they're working on. So cross our fingers. I know they're working hard. They want it for us as much as we want it for us. So we'll have a new platform to work with in no time, and we're going to be excited to have. So thanks everybody for joining. See you again.